So recently I uploaded a video where I got every single achievement in Terraria. It was a feat that I never thought possible, mainly due to the fishing quest. Screw you, angler. I was proud and felt super good about myself for all of about 2 months because Terraria came out with an update. 1.4.4 Labor of Love. That added 11 new achievements. They took away the one and only game I've ever gotten every single achievement on, so I knew I had to load up the old character and get to grinding. I wanted to start with all the relatively easy achievements, so I started with an eye for an eye. This achievement required me to defeat Deerclops from the crossover event with Don't Starve Together. Thankfully, this boss is pretty hard mode, so after making the spawner, I defeated it with ease. From there, I went to the achievement Unusual Survival Strategies. This achievement wanted me to drink water whilst drowning so that I could breathe underwater for longer periods of time because that makes so much sense, but I did what I had to do. Afterwards, I wanted to get Ankh complete, the creation of the Ankh shield, and Black Mirror, the creation of the cell phone, out of the way because they both required me to combine a bunch of shit together that I thought I already had. But of course, I was wrong. I had all of the stuff to make the cell phone and complete the Black Mirror right away, but I was missing a couple of things for the Ankh shield. Those couple of things being vitamins and a pocket mirror. The vitamins dropped from Floaty Gross and the pocket mirror dropped from Medusa. Little did I know one of those things was going to be way harder to get than the other. I started off with getting the vitamins because I've seen a lot more Floaty Gross than I've seen Medusa. I went down to the Underground Crimson and after just a few kills, the vitamins dropped. I was now off to find Medusa, but that required me to find a marble cave and I had no idea where one was. After a bit of searching on the map and googling what a marble cave even looks like, I found one. Once I got there, I began farming Medusa using things to increase spawn rates such as the battle potion and the water candle. After a while of grinding and getting absolutely nothing, I found a statue of Medusa. Me, being the dumbass that I am, thought I could just spawn Medusa over and over using the statue and grind for the pocket mirror that way, totally forgetting that there are no drops from an enemy spawn with the statue. After a few seconds of doing that and getting nothing, I went back down to the marble cave and grinded until I eventually got the pocket mirror and made the Ankh shield, completing the Ankh complete. Up next was Torch God, and as cool and dangerous as that sounds, if you have full life crystals then it should be a piece of cake. This achievement required me to place 100 torches in an enclosed space. Once that was done, each of the torches would shoot at you one by one until all 100 torches had been depleted, and as long as you survived, you would get the achievement. So I obviously had to pull up with all of my endgame loot and armor to be able to take this challenge on, and let me tell you, I barely made it out alive. Once I had bested the Torch God, I was given the achievement along with a consumable item that gave me a permanent torch and glowstick slot, which I thought was a pretty cool addition. To Infinity and Beyond was definitely one of the easier achievements as it only required me to buy and play with a quad racer drone. So I loaded on my old world, bought the drone from the cyborg along with the glass and need to operate it and flew it straight to space. The next achievement was a little funky as it required me to make a new world using a secret seed. Until now, I didn't even know secret seeds existed in Terraria. I did a bit of research and on the wiki I found a whole load of secret seeds that generated worlds that would have you progress through the world backwards by having you spawn in hell, or having the entire world be covered in beehives. The one that I chose to make was a drunk world, which basically just randomizes everything when it comes to world generation. Some changes include having multiple larvae and beehives, the party girl being the first NPC instead of the guide, higher chance for desert pyramids, etc. The most notable thing that was added in 1.4.4 has got to be the Shimmer in the new Aether biome. The achievement that goes along with this, a Shimmer in the dark, is to drop something into the Shimmer and have it spit out something else. The Shimmer basically takes some items in the game and does weird things to them, like if I were to drop a cell phone in the Shimmer, it would spit out all of the components that were used to make it. Or if I were to drop any sort of animal into the Shimmer, it would spit out something called a failing. It's kind of like a fairy. The next achievement I got was And Good Riddance, which required me to fully purify a world until the Dryad was satisfied. I knew this one in particular was going to be tricky to get, but it was tricky for the wrong reason. I went to the Crimson and began purifying it the old-fashioned way, by going to every nook and cranny and blasting that shit with the Cledtominator. After doing so for a bit, I went to check the purity of my world with the Dryad, and to my surprise, I only had 1% remaining. But that unfortunately meant that there was only like 1 or 2 blocks I had to find out of my entire world to purify. I began my next method of creating multiple elevators about a screen's width apart that would allow me to cover every single block on the left side of my world, but even after that the Dryad still wasn't satisfied. I was tired, so I'd given up for now and logged off. Upon loading up the world the next time I played, I checked with the Dryad to see what percentage of my world was corrupt, and she was suddenly satisfied. The game made me log out and reopen it to get this achievement. I wasted so much of my time trying to purify that last 1%, but it's whatever. The next achievement was Feast of Midas that required me to cook and eat the Golden Delight. Upon first glance, I thought I had to find every single golden critter to accomplish this, but upon actually opening my eyes and looking, I only needed to find one. For this achievement, I figured I would let it come to me, and it did. Both a golden bunny and a golden squirrel came to me at once. I then made a cooking pot, and let me tell you, they were delicious. The final achievement left for me to get was the Great Slime Mitosis, which required me to do various tasks that would have these little things called town slimes move into my house. There are 8 total slimes, and some took infinitely longer than the others. I started with the easier ones just to get them out of the way, so I started with the Squire Slime. This slime required me to toss a copper helmet onto any random slime. The next slime on my list was the Diva Slime. This one wanted me to throw a sparkle slime balloon into the Shimmer, which is kind of weird because those balloons are just filled with the party girl's bath water. Up next was the Clumsy Slime. This one was super easy to get as I only had to stand on a cloud island and wait for it to spawn. The next slime was the Nerdy Slime, and I honestly cannot find the footage for him. In this recording, he's not here when I go underground, but he's here when I come back up, but it just doesn't make sense. I couldn't find him anywhere. After him was the Elder Slime. You can find him in an old shaking chest after the Skeletron has been defeated, but you have to have a golden key to open the chest. Next was the Mystic Slime. This slime required me to throw Purification powder onto a Mystic Frog. Now, this one took a while longer because the Mystic Frog only has a 1 in 50 chance of spawning, so I ended up building a little house to increase the spawn rates of critters specifically, and eventually it spawned, but I almost lost it at the last second due to the Mystic Frog falling into my one of many elevators. The second to last slime was the Shirley Slime. This one only needed me to fish him up during a blood moon, so it didn't take that long. The longest part was just waiting for the blood moon to happen. The final slime was the Cool Slime, and as cool as this slime may be, it was a pain in the ass to get. It wasn't that it was hard to get, it was about how long it took to actually get him. This slime required the party girl to randomly throw a party. The issue here is that I had to wait for the party girl to move in, and she only has a 1 in 40 chance of spawning twice a day. What made this even worse was that after she finally moved in, there's only a 1 in 10 chance of a naturally occurring party. So I slept, and I waited, and waited, and waited, but nothing ever happened. It took 6 full real-life hours for them to finally throw a party, allowing me to officially have every achievement in Terraria again.